Dearest, darlingest citizens of Oz, welcome to the recap show. Welcome to the recap show. If you are not watching this and you're listening on audio, please turn on the YouTube. We are dressed to the nines. We are doing our best witch impersonations.
We are. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. We look fabulous. Okay, we are going to kick off this episode with a NWSL meets Wicked Superlatives.
Ooh.
Tobin, Heath, you get to decide which player you think plays with the most heart.
Ooh. What, give me some teams. Ooh, I got one. Marta.
Ooh, why?
She just cares so deeply,
The
even
passion.
after all this time. You know, commitment. That's what you judge at as you get older. The level of commitment. And when I watch Marta play, when I watch her go one-on-one, when I watch her lose, she is deeply affected. That is some heart.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
No, I'm not talking about men.
Oh. Okay, who plays with the most brains?
I'm gonna stick to NWSL, right? That's what we're doing here.
Sure.
It's a shame that Naomi Girma left. I'm gonna say Sam Coffey.
I thought you were going to say Sam Coffey.
I know.
Interesting pick.
Thank you.
Who plays with the most courage?
Probably Kristen Press.
Oh.
Takes a lot of courage coming back from 4 surgeries.
Well, that's really sweet. You know, I was thinking about Sydney Leroux. She always puts her body on the line.
Oof.
Okay, more importantly than any of this, which character in Wicked is searching for a heart?
Are these like, does this go back to the original characters? Maybe the Tin Man?
I think that's correct.
Really?
Which is searching for a brain?
Oh, maybe that's the Tin Man. Wait, the straw. Somebody's straw and somebody's tin.
Scarecrow. Who is searching for courage?
The Lion.
Good.
Bob.
Okay. Which player in the NWSL is wearing the ruby slippers, also known as the Rookie?
The Rookie, or I think the ruby slippers to me represents the golden boot.
Ooh, love that.
And that would be Chewinga by a mile.
In a bubble, untouchable, like Glinda.
Who's untouchable? Probably like Croy is untouchable.
Oh, yeah.
Croy, man.
And who do you think is the most magical, like Elphaba?
I think the magic. I don't think the NWSL. I think the NWSL has magical players, but I think the magic is in the league itself, because the games are magic. They do the unthinkable. They're not predictable. There's always a new hero. Yeah, I think the NWSL is magic.
That's amazing. And it's also the exact opposite of the Wicked story, because the magic is not in the institution or in Oz. It is in the one singular character.
Plot twist.
Anyways, thanks for the NWSL Wicked Superlatives.
Mm-hmm. You're
well
welcome.
done.
You're welcome.
Congrats to all the winners.
There are winners.
I think so. I think if Elphaba Thorpe picks me as the most courage,
I get to come on the recap show and dress up with us.
Yeah.
We know you love staying up to date on the latest shows, music, and moments. And now there's something new in fitness you need to know about. The Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ. This is Peloton's most elevated piece of equipment yet. With Peloton IQ, you get intelligent strength coaching that actually counts your reps, fixes your form, and tells you when to push harder. It's like having your own personal trainer, but way smarter. And here's the best part. You're never stuck in one routine. With the swivel screen, you can go from running to strength training to stretching all in one workout. Plus, Peloton IQ builds personalized plans matching you with classes that help you reach your goals. Each week, it recommends classes with instructors who match your style, so it feels like the plan was designed just for you. And in a way, it is. It's smart, it's fresh, and it's definitely trending. This is more than equipment. The new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus is a tool for transformation. So let yourself run, lift, stretch, push, and go. Check out the new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus at onepeloton.com. Well, I was wondering why you love Wicked so much and why it resonates with you. And I think there's a lot of reasons, but it kind of just reminds me of why we created the recap show and why we're so passionate about creating spaces that look and feel like us, especially in women's sports. And it might seem like a little ridiculous, but like us dressing up like this is us, like is what we enjoy to do, is what we enjoyed to do in camp, being silly, leaning into the things that make us feel free and fun and
expressive
that I feel like is almost, we have to, in certain ways, like grow out of. Like we always joke about how in the locker room, or not joke, we always say how different men's and women's locker rooms are. And we always say how in a women's locker room, you always have somebody doing someone's hair, like braiding someone's hair. Like you never really have that. I mean, I haven't been in many men's locker rooms, but I can't imagine someone like sitting down between your legs and them braiding each other's hair, or, the way we dance and laugh and sing and come together and cheer. It's just like, there's something very unique about it. And because we don't have like mainstream media around women's sports and women's athletes, it's like we've never really been able to express our own culture except for in actually doing it. And so what this reminds me of and why I think you love Wicked is because it is a part of this thread. It is part of this community.
Especially now, it's a time where we're feeling so isolated. It's the loneliest era. That's what they say, the digital era. And when you're in a stadium cheering your heart out for a soccer team, you would never say that or think that or feel that. And it's the same with like show tunes. Like I love show tunes. I love imagination. And I love taking home the music and then being able to replay it in my mind. But like, it's not in isolation. Like, I'm not sitting here by myself. Like, it's the joy of experiencing art and excellence, like, in community. And I think that's what's always been at the heart of Ree is that we've felt like we've been able to create a bit of a safe space in an industry that I think is really hard. Like, sports is so cutthroat. It's so intense. If I think about men's soccer fans. Like, remember when we were in England and we saw the hooligans for City? I was like, I don't want to be here. And, when there's a Galaxy LAFC game, it's like, that's not a stadium I actually want to be in. Like, I would love to go watch those teams play, but it's not an energy that I want to be in. And so, like, there's something that allows for youthfulness and silliness and expressiveness in what we're doing, more in the creation of community than anything else.
Yeah. And I've heard even some players speak out recently and say, that doesn't belong in our version of sports. There's a lot of toxic language and culture, a lot of racism, a lot of homophobia that exists in men's sports that we've seen as women's sports start to grow and the audience starts to grow. And what is happening now is obviously a lot of men's sports platforms are inherently men's sports platforms, or historically men's sports platforms are now like, oh, now we also are trying to fit women's sports into this. But the audience, they don't or there's a very large audience that, if you read the comments, are very against women's sports being on these types of platforms, as if they were inherently less than or don't belong.
Yeah, like Sky Sports.
And it's Sky Sports, but even I think it was like a Yahoo Sports. I saw like a highlight or something of women's sports on Yahoo Sports, for instance, that then you just read the comments, or obviously ESPN, which, you know, predominantly male platform. Like you just read the comments and they're so sexist and they're just so, yeah, it's just everything. And that's what we're kind of fighting against, but instead of fighting against is fighting for.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why this whole wicked for good. Like women's sports is for good.
Yeah.
It really is. When you cheer for women's sports, we always say you're cheering for the things that I think we want to reflect our society to move towards. And that's what we're trying to create here when we try to build our new sports house, our new sports landscape, to reflect the culture that we lived and that we built in the locker room, that actually the foundation of that was winning, you know, was being badass athletes. But that's just one aspect of it. It's like, then who are the athletes, like as people, as humans, you know, what do they do? And I actually think when we talk about the WNBA, we're seeing them really lean into their authentic culture. And because they're leaning into their authentic culture, people are really resonating with it and people are connecting with it and want to be a part of it. And
well, if you are sitting there and saying that you looking like this is reflective of our badass culture, I'm really feeling it. But I think there's two sides, right, of the fight for good in women's sports. There's simply just existence, which is like the best part.
Yeah.
It's like just playing the sport, just being good at it, just winning games, just showing up in that space without an apology for being there. Like that's already the for good. And then there's the fighting. And, you know, we've been a part of that fight at a national team level, at a league level. We're seeing the women of the W like in the peak of their fight for fair treatment. And that takes a whole other level of skills and excellence and commitment. And like what I'll say about that is the number one thing is togetherness. These aren't battles that you fight alone. You fight as a representation of an even larger group, right? So as a team, you're fighting for fair treatment, but because sports have these pedestals, we're fighting for fair treatment for beyond just the team that we're on, beyond just the league that we're playing for. It's very public. It's very reflective of many different people in the audience. And the hardest parts of these battles that we've seen is getting the group to be united in what the fight is and how to fight. And even if you want the same end goal, like the way, there's so many different ways. And that's really hard. And that's why when I am actually watching and just watching the W closely, when I see their stance in saying no to, you know, tripling their current, you know, average contract, and across the league, they're able to say, no, we need more. Like, that's incredible because the largest fights that we ever fought were on a single team. And so we were all sitting in the same room, and that like connection, that back and forth, that persuasiveness is really important. To do it at a league level, it takes so much commitment and so much faith and trust because it's a really hard opposition that is usually more organized and more like historical. Like they have more weight behind them, more money behind them that you're fighting. And yeah, I mean, not to be cheesy, but like that reminds me of the story of like Wicked, of like two people wanting the same larger outcome and just completely not seeing eye to eye on how you get there and how do you continue to lift each other up, especially in the face of that type of disconnect. And That's teamwork.
Yeah.
But it's one thing to have teamwork, put everything aside and play. It's another thing when it's like a meeting of minds and you're trying to fight for something and some people don't even want to be there.
Yeah.
And and it's really powerful. And I think the way that we can make each other feel like we're all part of a larger system and a larger family.
Yeah, that really reminded me of these like forces for good. Like if you just take those overlaps, like the obvious overlap in sports is like, okay, you have, the U.S. Women's National Team or the NWSL, like soccer at large, that has fought for, equality, equal pay, like fair treatment, all these things. And then you have the WNBA now, negotiating their CBA, fighting for the same things. And it's like, obviously, there's a lot of overlap. There's a lot of learnings there. Like, you can fight together, right? But then if you, like, zoom out even further, you take Wicked, take this incredible musical that's uniting people around the same types of themes and goals. And then you zoom out even further and you take Taylor Swift. And then all of a sudden, you're like, oh my gosh, like we could rule the world, and it just seems like the silo is in kind of the idea of silencing, right? Like if you can keep, the women's soccer crusaders like over here, keep them away from the basketball because they can't get any tips and tricks from them, and if you keep, the Swifties over here and you keep the Wickeders, the Gooders, whatever they are, the Glindas. But like imagine, all of these forces coming together for good because they're all fighting and representing the same things, and I think it goes back to this idea of instead of waiting to be let into certain rooms, just creating the rooms ourselves and occupying them with all these characters that we love, that unite, because really what we are when we put on jerseys, of our teams, we're just characters, Tobin and Christen, not in these different characters, but we're all just characters, right, in a story. And the most important piece of this is being able to share and tell our story.
You know what? I love that because probably for Halloween, one couple will dress up as Tobin and Christen. And Tobin and Christen will dress up as the Wicked Witch of the West and the Good Witch.
The question is, will they have as much fun as...
There's no way. No one could have more fun than me today. No one. It's my freaking birthday.
It would be really cute, though, if you were like this, but then you were in a jersey.
What do you mean?
Not in your pink. Maybe you had like a...
What? Don't take off
you
my
have
pink.
Your Angel City jersey.
This is my Angel City jersey.
You're right.
Next season, I will go to every game like this.
You will sit and watch the team like this.
In the supporter section.
They don't have a president. They have a...
in the supporter section, how they have that little platform that I'll just be like this.
Oh, you just wait. This is definitely gonna be a thing. If any team could have like a character, like a mascot that's actually like a real thing that stands for something that's dressed up.
It's perfect for Angel
It's
City.
perfect.
It is.
Yeah. You do look like an angel.
Yeah.
How do you feel about going blonde?
I feel more confident than ever that I will not go blonde. How do you feel about going green?
I like it. I'm a little afraid that this is permanent.
I know. How are you getting this
after
off
what
you?
I've been through, this might be permanent. One thing as I look at you and probably as you look at me is another thing that's so special, at least about the shared rooms that we have had in our locker rooms, is that feeling of being vastly different, like looking vastly different, coming from different places, different angles, but fighting for the same goal.
Yeah, of course.
And that's one of the things that I love is that diversity of people, characters. I like to say characters because I think there's characters out on the field because that's what you fall in love with. You fall in love with somebody's story, somebody's character, and then you want to cheer for it and you want to be a part of the ride. Like that's what I look for when I'm watching football.
Football also gives me a little bit of what I crave so much, which is I believe that the extraordinary is right here. And like these characters, these larger than life characters are like made up in someone's mind based off a reality that's actually here. And we talked about this, the other episode about like these videos ASMR, and it's just like, well, just listen to the trees. Like the magic of all of this is real. Like the magic in Wicked is that each character believes in each other. Like the magic of the U.S. Women's National Team was that we never thought we were going to lose, even when we weren't very good. Like it's literally, it is here. And I think that there's this craving that I have for being more rooted in the magic of like real life that I feel like we're so detached from. Am I making any sense? And I think those things show up in a lot of different ways. And I think in sport, it's like that access to flow state. I think it's how does your team become more than the sum of their parts. All the players have skills, but you're not just the sum of their skills. It's about the time where you flicked the ball over your shoulder and you didn't see your teammate, but you knew they were there. Like to me, that's like the magic of now. And I think as I start to imagine what my life's going to be like in a post-soccer world, like I do want to connect with things that give me that sense. Things that give me the sense that like we're living in Oz, like we actually are. And like the whole thing about Oz is like there's no magic in Oz. Like there's magic like in us.
And a collective magic.
Yeah, and I think that's like what you feel in a stadium. You know that it's freaking magic. Like no one talks about it that way, but it is. And I know that there's a lot more things that make people feel this way. Like I feel like this when I go to church. Like just being in a space where everyone's hoping to feel good about themselves. Like that in itself is like magic to me. Like because, otherwise they're sitting somewhere on their phone scrolling and doom scrolling, So as silly as this whole thing has been, I think there's a part of me that just loves being able to be connected to that and be connected, especially with you. Like who would ever be able to dress up and do a podcast by themselves like this? Although my original idea was that I was Elphaba and you were Tobin.
Which would have been great too.
Well, you wanted to play too.
I do. I like to play along.
You love to dress up. And now look at you.
I know. Look at me.
This episode should not come out in audio. Agreed.
I mean, I don't feel like I can make that decision.
I've made
but
it.
I feel like if you
Glinda the Good Witch.
I feel like if you have started, if you are listening to this on audio, immediately stop what you're doing and
just turn on YouTube. Pull over.
Pull over and just enjoy.
Like, rate, and subscribe.
Ding. But honestly, you love Wicked. There is something about Wicked. Obviously, there's huge themes, right? Themes that overlap.
Oh, can I say spontaneously what came to mind when you said you love Wicked?
Yeah.
At practice this year, I have been told again and again that I have a witchy laugh. And people are saying that as an insult. And you want to know why? They tell me I have a witchy laugh when I score and then I laugh. And they say it's very evil. And my coach, I might have already said this on the recap show, but too bad. My coach told me that I sounded like the witch in Sleeping Beauty after I scored a goal. He came running over to tell me that. And I like Wicked because that insult actually hurt my feelings because I do have a really loud laugh. And like, don't you just want to score great goals and then laugh?
I mean, that is such a flex. Scoring a goal and then laughing like a witch.
But that's the thing is, it wasn't supposed to be a flex. It was spontaneous. Like, I actually laughed in joy.
Yeah.
Like scoring a goal in practice and then laughing because like it was cheeky or like it went just like I wanted. And then I've been told I was a witch. Yeah. And I just keep saying in my head when people hurt my feelings, haven't you heard? I'm the Wicked Witch of the West. And that makes me feel better. And that's why I like Wicked.
Wow. That's powerful.
See, my laugh is witchy. But it's not like Glinda. Toss.
So good. Okay, but what other themes are you really resonating with?
Well, of course, it's the story of someone who's completely judged based on, the way that they look, their identity, that is just like one part of them. I think that's like the whole concept of Wicked is the way that we truly like it's a spoof on the fact that we're actually judging people off the color of their skin, right? And I think leaning into the things that you don't understand about yourself or that people don't like about you, I think that, and turning it into your superpower, I love that.
I love that. That to me screams women's sports.
Say more.
It's just, I always felt like in the beginning of our careers, or for me in particular, that I just wanted to be known as a good footballer. Like I didn't want to be seen based on my gender. I just wanted to be ranked by my ability. And as later in my career, I realized the greatest superpower, the greatest magic that we have as athletes are that we're women, that is our superpower. And that leaning into that gives us so much, is unlimited. That's the unlimited part. It's like, why be limited to a structure when your whole potential lives somewhere else?
Oh, this is good because if you think of it just as being like a woman, which this is obviously beyond, this is being queer, this is being a minority, this is being, just like anything that's othered. But if you look into it from the lens of a woman, it's like part of when you are made to feel small for something, you actually don't want to examine it. You want to like turn your eye away from it. So like Elphaba doesn't want to be green. She doesn't want to know why she's green. She hates it about herself, but she turns herself away from it. And that's like when you lose. When you're afraid of your own superpowers because other people don't understand them, it makes it harder to say like, well, what is my superpower as a woman? Or what in women's sports is the superpower?
Yeah. And that's actually what you build businesses around.
Yeah.
And I think that was exactly right. It's like I kind of stripped everything else outside of the football, right? So I stripped my own identity as a woman, as a queer person away because I wanted to just fit into a structure because those things didn't exist in the sports structure, right? The sports structure, for me, it only would include my ability as an athlete, how I stacked up. It didn't include me as a woman. It didn't include me as a queer person. So in order to fit into that structure or be respected in that way, it just came down to ability.
But this is perfect because it's the same thing. Like, because in this story, like the Wicked Witch is learning and creating her reality as she goes. Like, that's what the blessing is. Like, instead of being Glinda, who's just like, you're fit in, you're pretty, you're perfect, this works. Like, boom, men's sports, right? And then it's like, actually, we have no idea what the F you are. So, but then with that, you get more space to play and create and to fail.
Yeah.
Actually being like put outside the box, it's the same thing that we always say about being queer.
Yeah.
It's like now we get to define what our relationship is because there's no gender roles.
Yeah. But it wasn't even Elphaba, right? Because Elphaba represents so much outside the box, but it was also for Glinda, and I don't know the story of Wicked well enough, but please. But for Glinda, I would assume that there was a level of depth to her that wasn't even being considered because of the status quo of what she was.
And then she was inspired by someone going out and exploring themselves and their superpowers. And then she was like, well, heck, me too.
Yes, it's so beautiful.
Well, here we are.
And it's so inspiring. And these are the exact types of spaces and stories that I feel like we were so passionate to represent. Represent the fullness of our own culture, of what we did, as opposed to just the facade of it, or just the story that had already been told about.
And that's what's so interesting, right? Like coming back to like, here we are sitting in here doing our podcast, and the reason that we're here is because we believe that there's a superpower in women's sports to get beyond like the traditional sports story, to be able to tell deeper stories, to be able to, for us directly and, other athletes be able to connect with their audience in a broader way. And that's what this is.
Yeah. And it makes me want to go back and almost retell our stories our way. I was just thinking about 99, and we've had a couple 99ers on the recap show. And I was just thinking, imagine if we just retold that story with the liberation we have now, let alone the liberation we're going to have in the future, but the liberation we have now and the lens we have now and the platforms we have now. Imagine if we could retell that story.
Don't give those good ideas away.
Well, when remember when Bri said the camera cut off her and her, I think, partner?
Yeah.
It was like, what if we get to do that again?
Yeah.
What if we got to show the fullness of that team, not just the Mia Hamm of that team, which we love and adore Mia Hamm and what she represented at that time. But like, what if we got to show the fullness of those characters, of the stories that we know are stories that people would resonate with, that they would see themselves in, would give the fullness of what I think the picture should look like and feel like. As athletes, we've always understood that what we put in our bodies matters. It's the foundation of everything: performance, recovery, energy, longevity, and the same is true for our pets. Nulo offers high-protein recipes to support lean muscle, low carbs for sustained energy, and probiotics to support digestive health and immunity. And now that we have our dog Bobby, we think about her nutrition as a way to fuel her for all of her adventures, whether that's a hike, a game of fetch, or just keeping up with us. Nulo is trusted by world-class athletes like Simone Biles, Maddie Mastro, and Caleb Dressel for their pets because they understand the importance of this connection. When you fuel better, you perform better. Our pets deserve that same level of intention. We owe it to them to fuel them right. Visit Nulo.com, that's NULO.com, to learn more and fuel incredible. Okay, real talk. I've been so tired lately, like coffee's not doing its job anymore. I hit that mid-afternoon slump and my gut just wasn't feeling great. Enter Symbiotica. Honestly, it's been a game changer. Their supplements are clean, high quality, and they actually make a noticeable difference. One that I'm completely obsessed with is their Lipsomal Vitamin C. It's fantastic for boosting immunity, supporting collagen production, and my skin has started to actually glow. I also started their new liquid colostrum, which tastes like vanilla sea salt. It supports my gut health, keeps my immune system strong, and even helps with hair and nail health. I can feel the difference in my energy levels and overall wellness. It's like finally giving my body exactly what it's asking for. The best part? Everything is delivered right to my door, so it's effortless to keep it part of my routine. So, if you're ready to support your health in a simple, effective way, go to Symbiotica.com/recap for 20% off plus free shipping. That's Symbiotica.com/recap for 20% off plus free shipping.
Okay, so today we are doing red card, yellow card, goal, Halloween edition. Start with red cards.
Oh, bad candy.
I don't like candy at all. What? And I feel like you're going to get poisoned if you eat candy.
Yeah, candy nowadays too.
Don't take candy from strangers.
That's the whole point of it.
Red card.
Red card.
Yellow card.
Those houses that leave the bucket of candy out, like they're not there or they don't want to give it away, but they just put it there.
Oh, that's what I was planning on doing.
But it's like, that's the spooky house. It's like the dark house. And it also, but you're also like, it's a whole pot of candy and nobody's looking. I can take it all.
Yellow card for me. I don't like scary movies. I don't like being afraid. Green. There is no Halloween green goal better than this costume I'm wearing.
We are the
You're
goal.
right. There is one. Tobin's costume. She looks amazing. Goal for going this big on Halloween.
Or before Halloween.
Or 3 weeks before Halloween. Goal for dressing up as the witches any day of the year.
You never know what to expect here on the recap show, but this sure was a lot of fun. But reminder to tune in to the end of the NWSL season and Wow, playoffs.
Happy
Here we come.
Halloween.
Happy Halloween.